You ever hear a sound that just tells you your whole life is about to change? I did, except it wasn't a siren or a shout or even glass breaking. It was just Luke's fist landing without a sound, like the punch itself refused to announce what was coming. But man, the thud when that HOA thug hit the pavement, that was loud enough to make every curtain on the street twitch. Yeah, let me back up a sec. It was a Tuesday, which already put me on edge. Tuesdays have a way of going sideways, don't they? The kind of day where the birds are silent, sky is that washed-out nothing color. And even the damn mailman gives your house a wide berth, like he's heard rumors. I was reheating a mug of 2-day-old coffee, thinking maybe it'd finally taste like something other than regret, when I spotted them. 3 of them, moving down the sidewalk with all the subtlety of a parade. 2 meatheads in shirts 2 sizes too small. One guy with a clipboard clutched like it was the Constitution. And there, standing across the street like she owned the whole block, Karen, HOA president. Full-time busybody, part-time aspiring dictator. She had her arms crossed, smile plastered on like a campaign poster. That, I already know I'm gonna win kind of look. I felt my knee crack as I stood, reached for my cane. And for a second, it was like I was back in the old days, when trouble came wearing a badge or a cheap tie. But this time, I didn't make it to the door first. Luke did. Luke's my son, the kind who moves like he's made of stone and smoke at the same time. He opened the door, not slamming it, just swinging it wide enough to let everyone know he wasn't afraid. Clipboard guy cleared his throat, did his best to sound official. We're here under Phase 2 Enforcement Authority, per HOA Clause 18C. He really thought the clipboard gave him muscle. Luke just stared. Is that even real? He asked. It's enforceable, clipboard said, not missing a beat. It's nonsense, I added, stepping up beside Luke. You can't just rewrite the law with a printer and a highlighter. And that's when Karen jumped in. Didn't even have to cross the street to sound like she was running the show. You ignored multiple requests to bring your property into visual alignment with subdivision standards. That's what she called it. Visual alignment. You know what I mean? Like a flag or a grill is a crime against humanity. Luke let that hang in the air, just long enough for one of the muscle boys to shift his stance. Luke sized him up, feet, shoulders, hands, calculating. Clipboard guy stepped closer, tried to pass off a paper like it was a warrant. Karen whipped out her phone, held it just so. That's when I realized, this wasn't enforcement. This was theater. A trap. And we were already in it. Clipboard tried to hand the notice. Maybe. Or maybe he just wanted to get a rise. Whatever his plan, Luke's fist didn't give him a chance to finish it. The punch was silent. The landing wasn't. The guy folded like a wet newspaper, clipboard snapping in half against the bricks. The second muscle guy froze when Luke looked his way. I swear, the whole neighborhood held its breath. If not for the sound of a dozen cell phones recording, you could have heard a pin drop. Karen didn't scream. No, she just smiled, like she'd planned this exact moment for weeks. He struck a contractor, she announced, not to us, but to her phone. This is assault under HOA enforcement protocol. I am requesting police intervention immediately. You're not law enforcement, I snapped. This is harassment, not compliance. Karen lowered her phone, just enough to show me her real face. You could have just painted the fence, she said. Luke stood like a statue. Clipboard man hobbled away. Karen followed, camera rolling. As I stepped off the porch, cane tapping like a warning bell, Luke caught my eye. He didn't have to say it. We'd just handed them ammunition. War had started. But the punch, the video, that was just the prologue. What really flipped my stomach was what came next. An envelope with no return address, delivered by hand, postmarked from nowhere. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about the HOA. This was about driving us off our land, for good. The neighborhood changed overnight. After the event, it was like the air got surgically sliced, quiet, but not peaceful. Nobody made eye contact. By morning, the punch video was on every group chat. One post, this is why we need stricter enforcement. Another, veteran violence is still violence. They looped the punch with circus music. Luke just saved it in a folder called evidence. I didn't talk much either. I just started taking notes. Who parked where, who watched, who filmed. The surveillance kicked up quick. Every morning, a white SUV parked across the street at exactly 7:02 a.m. No logo, no plates, driver never left. At 3:36 p.m. A A city van idled 2 doors down, a guy eating sunflower seeds, watching our yard like it was his favorite show. Luke rerouted the motion sensors, added a camera to the birdhouse. I zip-tied another under the gutter, best I could do. You think it's enough? I asked. Nope, he said. But it'll tell us who's bold and who's stupid. That night, someone jumped our back fence. Hoodie, gloves, slim build. Just moved through the yard, slow, like he was casing the place. Stopped by the window, then gone. Luke paused the footage. You see those shoes? He asked. Gray Adidas, blue marker stain near the heel. Rick used to wear shoes like that in high school. Every wrestling match, every late-night beer run. I didn't say anything, but my gut twisted. Next morning, Rick strolled up. No knock. Just sauntered like it was 2011. Heard things got wild, he grinned. Karen's riled up, but she'll cool down. Just don't pour gas on it, you know? You seen her lately? I asked. Ran into her by the mailboxes. You've been flagged again. Something about backyard elevation regs. He laughed. I didn't. You know, he added. If you just moved the shed, lost the old grill, maybe she'd back off. Karen likes to win. Let her think she did. Luke stepped up, slow, deliberate. Still wearing those gray Adidas? Rick blinked. Nah, haven't had those in years. Then he turned, added as he left, just be careful. When things escalate, the one who swings isn't always the one who gets punished. That night, we reinforced the locks. Rhonda dropped by before sunset, crowbar in one hand, casserole in the other. They're not inspecting, she said. They're planning. She handed over a laminated HOA charter, 3 sections circled in red. Start here, she said. Then hit M where it hurts. We spent 5 hours mapping every route in and out. At 1:02 a.m., the SUV came back. Luke stood in the driveway, no shirt, arms crossed. SUV waited, then rolled off. At 2:16 a.m., the camera caught a face, badge on the belt, too blurry to ID. In the background, an HOA polo shirt, standing just out of frame. They came in pairs, compliance observers. Not cops, not code. Freelancers with clipboards and GoPros, cheap as they come. They didn't knock. They just started marking the lawn in orange chalk, like they were planning our funeral. Luke watched from inside, silent. They want to draw us out, I said. He flexed his hands, walked toward the door. Clipboard didn't look up. Lawn configuration violates Section 8B. Overgrown, inconsistent elevation, unapproved ornamentation. That tree's been here since the 70s, I snapped. If it wasn't planted by the HOA, it's not authorized, Clipboard replied. Karen chimed in from her folding chair, iced tea in hand. It's just part of routine visual assessment. Everyone's being reviewed. Right. She'd turned it into a tea party. Luke stepped down. You gonna mark every inch? We're just recording violations. If you're uncomfortable. Luke started recording on his phone. Karen smiled. Transparency protects us all. Then I noticed a third man. 2 doors down, phone out, camera aimed. They're triangulating, I whispered to Luke. They want footage of us losing it. Luke nodded. You gonna give it to them? I asked. Not today. Clipboard dropped a hazard marker. Luke told him to pick it up, voice so calm it was threatening. After a pause, the man obeyed. Karen clapped, like she'd just seen the end of Act 1. Next morning, 6 new violations taped to our garage. Noise disturbance. Hostility. Even cited Luke's boots for being excessively heavy. Rhonda burst in. They flagged my hose for being aggressively coiled. She laughed, but it sounded like a threat. Later, Rick came by again, casual as a cat. Saw the new flags. Figured you needed a friend. There's a lot of tension. People are scared. Of what? I asked. A fight. A mistake. Something going too far. She sent you? Luke asked. I came because I know how this ends, Rick said. My advice. Cool off. Let it blow over. But you pull that stake, they win. Leave it, they win anyway. That night, trespassers again. Luke caught them, lit him up with a high beam. You're on private property, he said. 1 free pass. They left. We didn't call the cops. We were building a counter case now. Archiving. They weren't ready for that. Then, a letter. You should have left when you had the chance. No stamp, no return. They called it temporary protection enforcement, de-escalation through procedure. Karen claimed Luke's military background made him a risk. She cited his body language as intimidating. By noon, The whole thing was an email blast. Caption: It only takes one moment for silence to become danger. Luke's photo, blurred, arms crossed, timestamp clear. Rhonda showed up with laptops and a folder labeled, "In case of tyrants." Most neighbors had already picked sides, and they weren't on ours. I tried to spare Luke the memes, his face on a tank, homeowners against hostility. He didn't react, but his thumb paused on the phone. That night, I found him in the backyard, sharpening his knife. "You okay?" I asked. "Do I look okay?" "No. You look like I did the day they came for me." "You told me that story," he said. "I didn't tell you how it ended." I said. "I didn't fight. I signed the papers. Walked away." He went back to sharpening. The next morning, police cars rolled up. Clipboard enforcer in tow. "You got a warrant?" I asked. "No," the officer said. "Community-initiated detainment. Voluntary. Technically." Luke walked out slow. "Am I being detained?" he asked. "You're being observed." For reassurance. Karen stood across the street, phone rolling, voice honey-sweet. "No one wants this. We just need to feel safe again." Luke handed me his phone, his knife, his keys. Held out his wrists. Plastic cuffs, not tight. But the sound echoed. The same sound as 30 years ago when my world crumbled. And now it was my son's turn. He was back 8 hours later. No charges. Just paperwork. Karen's statement was 3 pages, describing his threatening facial expression, psychologically manipulative silence. That's when I knew this wasn't about rules. This was the playbook. Weaponized perception. Rewrite intent. We got a new photo next day. Our porch. Shadow by the light. Red marker. "You're not safe anymore." Then Rick's garage. Door cracked open. Orange HOA clipboard inside. Neatly filed. On the table, blueprints, maps, a binder labeled Phase 2 Strategy. A photo of Luke circled in red. Temper risk. Monitor reactions. A spreadsheet of neighbors, veteran risk assessments. A red stamp by Luke's name. Escalation likely. Rick caught me. "This your hobby now?" I asked. "No," he said. "This is cleanup. Looks like betrayal. Depends who you think I owed." He held up a photo. Me, Luke, Rick in high school. "You raised him like yourself. Fight first, think later. Now you're mad the world's giving you what you trained him for." Luke stepped in. "So this is revenge." "No, this is balance. I'm keeping you from getting kicked out the hard way." Karen, her brother, Rick's dad, they were all in on it. A family operation. Luke found the binder, contracts, enforcement agreements, even a photo of Karen shaking hands with Rick's dad a month before the first violation. Luke rewired the cameras, reinforced the fence. Rhonda showed up, crowbar in hand. Bagels are for brains, crowbars for knees. We mapped vulnerabilities, installed tripwires, pinged every movement to Rhonda's phone. But for every counter, they doubled down. We found their own hidden cam in our tree. Took it down, branch and all. The next day, Karen arrived, fresh violation in hand. "Hope you enjoy the footage," I told her. "We've got you trespassing." She just smiled. "Then we'll all enjoy discovery, won't we?" That night, the first breach hit. Tripwire pinged. Luke out the door, spotlight in one hand, flare tube in the other. Contractor tripped, got sprayed with dye, left a boot print. Later, Luke said, "We're not the first. Found other homes, targeted, turned over. It's a pattern." At 3 a.m., the intercom buzzed. "You're being watched. Stand down." Luke just amped up the defenses, floodlight, sprinkler rig to tripwire. They cut our power at 4:17. Total blackout. Rhonda showed up in slippers and an old hoodie, wrench in one hand, toaster in the other. "Wrong drawer," she muttered. 3 figures, no uniforms, moved toward the gate. Luke handed me the Canon remote. "Wait till they split." They kicked the gate. I hit the flare. Backyard lit up like the 4th of July. Luke tackled the first guy. Rhonda barreled out with a fire extinguisher, nailed another. The rest scattered. But Rick's boot print was in the mud. Luke yelled, "Send someone with a name next time." Next morning, a folder on the porch. Court summons, Karen as plaintiff, me as primary threat. At the courthouse, Karen looked like she was about to host a bake sale. The judge, Whitaker, listened as her lawyer painted us as vigilantes. I played the full security tape. The judge saw the truth. No warnings, no knocking, just forced entry and us defending our ground. Rhonda produced meeting minutes showing all HOA security measures were voided for veterans under federal protection. The courtroom flipped. The judge ordered an audit, found Karen had targeted not just us, but 4 other vets. Outside, Luke finally breathed. Rhonda high-fived me so hard my shoulder popped. Whitaker told me, "Next time you fight back, file sooner." That night, I got Rick's resignation letter. No signature, just a greased thumbprint, like a dare. But that wasn't the end. South fence, cut clean. Rick showed up in the dark, tactical vest, for contractors in tow. He tried to bait Luke into another fight. This time, we were ready. Luke and Rick went at it. 2 bulls in a ring, old wounds surfacing. Rhonda broke up the chaos with a fire extinguisher. Police rolled up, found Karen shrieking, contractors scattering. Evidence in hand, they charged 2 for impersonating agents. Karen vanished, office cleared, board turned on her. Weeks later, a plain envelope arrived. All complaints withdrawn, protective status reaffirmed. No future citations permitted. Luke just closed his eyes and breathed. We rebuilt the fence, our own colors. Rhonda, now HOA president, yeah, believe it, passed motions. No more private enforcement, no more secret security, and no more Karen. We sit on the porch now. Doors unlocked, wind chimes singing, no more eyes watching. We didn't win because we fought the loudest. We won because we stayed, through the noise, the threats, the silence. We stayed. Sometimes doing the right thing means not running, not swinging, just standing your ground. We didn't pick this war, but we sure finished it. Now it's our home. Messy, stubborn, perfectly imperfect. So tell me, what would you have done? Where's the line between defending what's yours and turning into what you hate? Drop your thoughts below, stories, advice, call me crazy. I want to hear your side. Because after all this, maybe the only thing standing between right and wrong is who's willing to stay put and say, not today.